Live from our Abuja studio is a candidate of the UPP, Mr. Osita Chidoka. Thank you so much tonight for joining us on the program. Let me begin by asking you about what you have said. You said, and I quote you now, you said, we have adopted a technological and scientific method to reach voters. We have 26,000 workers who are conversing for vote for us in all the wards in the state. Now, you also said that your target are those who have collected their voters' card. We have no business with those who did not register with INEC. You said that you can tell how many votes you will get in most areas in the state. You seem to have been talking with a lot of confidence. Do you think you can win this election, Mr. Chidoka?
Definitely. I believe that the 2017 election presents a new watermark for Nigeria. In 2015, we had an election where a ruling party was dislodged by an opposition party. And in 2015, three things have driven us to this point. One, we believe that the electoral reform started by President Jonathan, which led to the loss of PDP in that election, the introduction of the card reader, the introduction of credible processes, technology-wise, in the electoral process. Second one is the advancement that has gone on after the 2015 election. We have seen INEC talking about the upgraded card reader. We have seen INEC talking about electronic transmission of votes from the polling units to the data center. And then thirdly, and this is a very significant point, this is the first time in an Anambra election that we have not heard that the president said, and I believe this is a credit to President Buhari, normally the Anambra big men will have at this time been telling us, oh, the president has directed. We are happy that, like me, I haven't gone to see the president or the INEC chairman or anybody involved in this election, yet I'm seen as a credible candidate. In the olden days, it will have been those candidates that have been sanctioned by the powers that be. So I think President Buhari has brought his own personal integrity to the electoral process. Having been somebody who lost the election 3 times, he is the only president in Nigeria coming to that position with that experience. Now, that said, these 3 factors that we haven't heard anybody saying, this is who the president have chosen, and it is almost synonymous with Anambra elections. The second one, we have seen INEC has upgraded its infrastructure. And the third one, the reforms initiated in INEC has started to yield dividend. Now, based on this, I believe that this election is an election for the person with the biggest ground game. That is, the person that is able to reach the voters, the person that is able to talk to the voters directly, speak to their hopes, address their fears, and connect with them emotionally. That person will be able to get the voters out on election day.
And you think
this is what is happening
and you think you are that person, Mr. Chidoka, because it brings me to this question. You were a minister under the PDP government. Barely a few months ago, you joined the UPP, and the question about Nigerian politics so much in some other parts of the world also has to do with structure. A lot of your critics have said you do not even have the political structure to win an election in Anambra State.
Well, when they talk about structure, I'm sure that, okay, I'm not hearing him. When they talk about structure in Anambra State, in politics in general, I believe that they are referring to the old. They are not referring to the new. In today's world, the structures that were required to build large corporations are no more needed today. The world's leading companies are today software companies. They manufacture nothing. In France, we saw Macron form a party, and within 2 years, he became the president of France. We saw Barack Obama set up a campaign machinery that most people thought, oh, was a team of ragtag team of young people, but they were able to knock on the doors of the people. They were able to speak to the hopes of Americans. They were able to connect emotionally. We saw Trump, who is seen as an outsider, go to the United States and connect emotionally with the voters there. We saw it in Osun State in Nigeria. When a Senate election, we saw the senator leave the APC and go to even the fractious PDP and defeated an incumbent governor and the party Senate candidate in that election. It goes to show you that today's voters, there is a rise of the new voter. And the new voters are people who are willing to look at the issues of the person involved. Now, the structure that people talk about is the structure of the old, is the structure of rigging, is the structure of diverting electoral machinery, electoral equipment, and electoral materials away from the voting area. It is the structure that goes to mutilate from EC8 at the collation center. It is the structure that allows you to bribe electoral officers. Those structures are not relevant in an election that is credible.
Mr. Chidoka,
and that's one of the major things we are talking about here.
We'll take a breather, and when we come back, you will be telling us about who is sponsoring you. That's going to be in the moment, and also the IPOB agitations in the Southeast region. Join us again, everyone.